Okay, I'm gonna start out by saying that this package right here, that might be the hardest thing I've ever bought in my life. That might be the most difficult purchase I've ever made. Let me tell you why. Okay, so in that package, I have wanted what's in that package since I was playing guitar about 17 years old. I'm now 37, so 20 years I have wanted that. What's in that package is the closest replica to Brian May of Queen's guitar that you can pretty much get. There have been many, many versions over time, but none very accurate. And basically, when I was playing guitar growing up, the main one that you could get that everyone knew of was made by, I believe it was made by Gretsch, or Guild. No, it was actually made by Guild. And that guitar was over $4,000. Now, there was a company called Burns, and Greco, and John Birch, and all these other people that have made the guitar, but it just doesn't really match up to Brian's guitar, because Brian's guitar was very special. Now, these days, finally in 2019, Brian May has his own company and he makes the guitars himself, or at least under his name and under his supervision, so that the guitars are affordable for more people to get in their homes. And this is the reason it's so special, I think, is because this is modeled after a guitar that Brian and his father handmade when he was 17 years old. It's a guitar that he's tried out other guitars over time, but nothing really matches this and nothing duplicates this sound. And finally, over the last couple of years, the company that he's working with, and it's called Brian May Guitars, they make them accurate and affordable. So, I had been trying to order one since December. I was going to make it my Christmas present to myself, and his website was sold out because of the Bohemian Rhapsody movie. And so I put myself on a notification list when they became available to be purchased to let me know. They let me know, and I didn't get the email in time. 4 hours later, when I got the email, they were all sold out. So I put myself on the wait list for the next month. January, same thing. I checked their website every day, sometimes 10, 15 times a day to see if that guitar was for sale. Nothing for sale. Then they release it the day of the NAMM show while I'm in a convention center and I'm not getting reception. I get the email 2 hours later. They sold out the guitars, so I emailed them. And they said, yeah, we sold out in 45 minutes. So then they said, we can put you on the wait list for the next month. And I just kept being afraid that this was going to keep happening, so I started looking around online. And on eBay, Musician's Friend is actually selling 2 of his guitars, not the red special, which he's known for, but a natural wood color. So I order that guitar, pay for it. The next day, I get my money refunded because Musician's Friend says they don't have that guitar. Holy cow. So then I try to order the guitar the next day through a UK website, and they won't accept credit cards from people in the US. So then I try and pay through PayPal, and they won't accept PayPal if it's going to the US. So then I try and I pay through another credit card. That credit card actually finally was accepted, and the long wait began. I think I paid for it in the middle of January, early January, and it's supposed to be delivered now, which is the end of March. Well, about 2 weeks ago, I got an email saying that your guitar is going to be delivered before estimated delivery day. I had actually been planning on not taking any trips so that I could be home for this delivery. Well, the days came and went that I was supposed to get that delivery, and I didn't get the guitar. Unbelievable. So I call them and I give them my order number and I ask what's happening, and they said, oh, your order's actually on hold because your payment didn't go through. And I said, it went through 2 months ago. And they said, oh, that was just a hold. We actually need you to pay for it now. We have your order on hold. So I ended up having to go all the way to the extent of going to my bank, showing them the email with all the wire transfer numbers and doing a wire transfer that way. I did end up getting the guitar $100 cheaper than what they go for online through this company, because the company did feel bad and they discounted me what it cost to do the wire and all that stuff. So after all that, I actually think this guitar might be haunted. If anything bad happens, I totally will put it all on this guitar's head, because it's been almost impossible to get my hands on, but it finally just arrived. And in fact, I've been waiting all day for this, and hung around the house and got a notification that they attempted to deliver it and they couldn't get in. So I went running outside and chased them down the street and got this thing. So it is now in the house. Let's open it up and check it out. Now you know the ordeal of why this has been such a pain to get. I've never had so much trouble to give somebody my money to get something, but we finally got it. So let's check it out. So I've never done an unboxing. Let's unbox this, and part of this video will be me pointing out the differences in this guitar to Brian's homemade guitar and tell you a little history about it. Okay, well, the good news is we actually did get what we ordered. I do see the BM, which is Brian May, AC, which is Antique Cherry. That's the color, and that's the most sought after one right now because it's the most closely replicating the one that he has always played in Queen, and with Bohemian Rhapsody being popular now, they've just been selling out quick. Now, to be quite honest with you, this guitar is extremely reasonably priced. And the story on this guitar is that Brian and his dad built this together when he was 17 because they just didn't have the money to go out and buy a guitar. And his dad said, you know, his dad was really good with electronics and a really good craftsman, so taking on something like this was something that he viewed as a great challenge, and he and Brian both had the same mentality, and it was like, hey, why buy one when we can make one and challenge ourselves to make one better than any guitar has ever been made before? And so that's really what they did. They built it together. The body of the guitar was made from an old table, and the neck was made from a 100-year-old fireplace mantle. So let's dive in. And they went ahead and packed it in the gig bag. It's kind of nice of them to throw in a free gig bag, because the hard shell case, which I probably should have got, was like an extra couple $100, I think $200. I cannot tell you how exciting it is to finally own this thing, because these just have such a great reputation for, I mean, the build and the innovation that went in. Oh, it's all wrapped up. Let's check it out. Well, here it is. The Brian May Antique Cherry Red Special, with Brian's own name in the top. Focus. Now, the only thing that's really missing is the White Star of Bethlehem that he has on his. So let me show you why this is so sought after, why it's so innovative. First off, he used mahogany, or at least the wood that he used is a great quality wood, like I mentioned. Obviously, they couldn't replicate that tabletop, but they got as close to that wood as they could. What was innovative about this, for one, was that his selectors here. He put more phases on here, or basically these top three control each individual pickup, so you can actually you can use all three at once, or phase them out, and then these actually are the phasing part. So if you hit this, that phases out this pickup, and then this phases out the middle pickup, which was kind of cool. It gives you a ton of options for getting different sounds out of this guitar, which, as you know from Queen, that's what he was great at. One thing I noticed that is missing is that on Brian's original guitar, he has an extra handmade piece of metal that he had actually custom made himself with a drill bit, and it creates a little bit of tension in between the strings and the tremolo bar here, so that the guitar keeps better tuned. I know they didn't do that here, but they did do the zero nut, or the zero fret up here, which also helps with the tuning, and they did an angle to the neck, a slight angle, that also helps keep it in tune. Now, when Brian made his guitar, the fret markers here, his were actually taken from his mother's button box. And that's how he got his. So those are not the same style. And the original ending for his tremolo, I believe he said he also took one of her knitting needles and drilled a hole at the end of that and used that. But other than that, this thing sounds and looks like the original. Because of the story of how this was made and everything that went into it, this has always been a really popular guitar for guitar players to find the specs and the drafts or whatever, what the blueprints of making this. This is a real popular guitar for people to try and make themselves. And Brian May said, in fact, this is the only one. He said they experimented a couple times before they settled on this one, and he said this was his main guitar. He did build another one after that he wasn't quite as happy with, and then he said, I'll probably never build another one because I just have other things I want to do in my life. So when he had replicas early on, before these, he would have John Birch make them, and even those he wasn't really that happy with because they didn't really sound that much like his original. This actually has the same pickups and all that stuff. 6 little, the top 3 being for your pickups, and the bottom 3 being taking them in and out of phase. So that's just putting them in and out of phase. You can hear the difference. Try some things like that. Try Alright gang, if you want to know more about the Brian May guitar, he actually wrote a whole book about it. Go check it out. Look up Brian May, you'll find it. It's the red special guitar. And don't judge the guitar on my playing. I hadn't played guitar in like 10 years until about 3 months ago, so I'm basically relearning from scratch. And that was actually something my friend John told me. He said, you know how I always keep motivated to play music? And I said, how's that? He said, anytime I feel unmotivated, I buy a new instrument. And the fun of playing that always sparks a new idea or gets me excited about playing again. So, yep, I've always wanted that guitar, and I got excited about playing again a couple of months ago, and I said, you know what? That'll make it more fun, and it sure is. So, have a great one, everyone. We'll see you all later. Enjoy the Brian May special.